She sent the photo at 2:14 a.m. Champagne glass in hand, big fake smile, city lights behind her, like some B-list reality star. She looked tan, loud, and smug as hell. The caption read, "New city, new life, younger man. Don't wait up." That was the moment everything snapped into focus. No more wondering, no more late-night suspicion, no more trying to fix what she'd already set on fire. My name's Ryan Keller. I'm 41 years old, and until that night, I thought I had a wife worth fighting for. We'd been together 8 years, married for 5. The first few were solid, built on long nights, inside jokes, and shared plans. We bought our first home together, started a joint savings account, took Sunday morning coffee walks like clockwork. I thought we were in sync, but over the past year, something shifted. She stopped laughing at my jokes, started sleeping with her phone face down, got obsessed with social media, posting curated bullshit like our lives were perfect, while barely looking at me across the dinner table. I remember the first time I really noticed it. We were sitting on the couch, watching one of our old favorite shows, and she just wasn't there. Physically, sure, but her eyes were glued to her phone, tapping, swiping, giggling at something that didn't include me. When I asked who she was texting, she said, "Relax, just the girls." She always said it like that, just the girls, like I was crazy for asking, like curiosity was a threat. The girls' trip came up fast, last minute, a birthday in Miami supposedly. She acted surprised when I said she didn't need to ask. I trusted her. She packed light, but brought her flashiest clothes, red heels I hadn't seen in years, perfume she used to save for our anniversary. At the airport, she kissed me too quickly, said she'd text when she landed. That was 5 days ago. Then, at 2:14 a.m., my phone lit up. One photo, no warning, no explanation. Champagne in her hand, fake-ass smile, city lights behind her like a damn influencer. Caption, "New city, new life, younger man. Don't wait up." That was the moment everything snapped into focus. 1 second later, my system pinged, not once, twice. First, a geo-trigger, unauthorized login attempt from Fort Lauderdale, flagged immediately. Second, transfer pending approval, not completed. Because 6 months ago, I had the account rewired with a built-in contingency. Any transfer over $10,000 paused unless approved by 2 keys, mine and hers. She didn't know I'd switched it from SMS to biometric. She didn't clean me out. She hit the tripwire. That was the part that stung. Not just the betrayal, the efficiency, the calculation. She hadn't just left me, she'd planned this, mapped it out, waited for the right moment. She wanted to hurt me quietly, from 1,300 miles away, while sailing into her next chapter with some beachside himbo half her age. I stared at her text for a long time. I didn't yell, I didn't pace, I just sat there, staring at that stupid grin on her face, and let the silence settle. That's what people don't get about betrayal. It doesn't hit like a slap. It lands like cold air in your lungs. Still, numb, surgical. And then I smiled. Because what she didn't know, what she couldn't have known, was that I'd been preparing for this for weeks. Not because I knew she'd do it, but because I couldn't ignore the math anymore, the gaps in her story, the locked screen, the way she suddenly wanted separate finances for autonomy, but still used my Amex to order skincare kits. So I did what I had to do. Not with lawyers, not yet, with code. I built a mirror, an invisible one. Custom software disguised as a financial dashboard. Looked like a shared budgeting app. In reality, a listening device. Every login, every balance check, every dollar moved, triggered silent reports to a separate terminal. Mine. And tucked behind, that was the real trap, an auto-lock protocol. Any unauthorized withdrawal attempt over $10,000 rerouted to a decoy wallet and froze all access. She thought I was sleeping. I was logging metadata. I stood up, walked to the safe behind the bedroom closet panel, and keyed in a 6-digit code I'd used only once before. Inside was a black USB drive, encrypted, air-gapped, untouchable by anything connected to the internet. I plugged it into the offline laptop I kept just for this. The screen lit up with a single file folder, Trigger Protocol. Inside, everything was ready. The trigger was simple. Any transfer over $10,000 from our joint savings account without dual authorization would activate the switch. It wasn't a bank alert, it was a legal one. Because what she didn't know was that 6 months ago, I changed the structure of our finances. She pushed me into it, really. Constant jabs about independence, privacy, having her own life. Fine. I let her have her freedom. But I made damn sure she didn't take mine with it. I created a limited liability company, innocuous name, buried under layers of paperwork. On the surface, it was just a shared family investment vehicle. But in the fine print, every cent in that joint account was a company asset, and any withdrawal over the threshold triggered a mandatory internal audit and potential freeze per the operating agreement. She signed that paperwork in June, didn't even read it, just scrolled and tapped on the iPad while sipping a protein shake. Whatever, babe, just tell me where to initial. I told her. She did. I hired a forensic accountant a week after she started, working late twice a week. No judgment, just data. I had access to her cloud backup, her location history, private browsing data. You can hide a lot, but metadata doesn't lie. The hotel in Long Beach, the Venmo payments labeled Jim, the second phone number registered under her maiden name. It was all there. So I built the switch. The LLC was wired to notify my attorney the moment funds crossed that line, which they just did. My phone buzzed again. This time it wasn't the bank, it was her. Why the hell is my account frozen? I didn't answer. I was busy pulling up the digital paper trail that led straight back to her. All of it time-stamped, all of it admissible. She hadn't stolen the money. She'd committed corporate theft. The account was frozen by design, flagged for internal breach. My lawyer would file a claim in the morning. By then, she'd be locked out of everything. She thought she drained me, thought this was her big escape. The final screw you to the man she thought was too soft, too predictable, too slow to see it coming. She didn't see the tripwire until it snapped. The best part? I let her do it. I wanted her to feel like she got away with it. That false high, that moment of triumph before the bottom dropped out. I could already imagine her face when the yacht Wi-Fi cut out and the banking app locked her out, when she realized her new life started with a legal shitstorm. I clicked one final link, an automated script that sent my attorney all relevant documentation, prenup violation, breach of fiduciary duty, evidence of infidelity. One click, done. I opened the chat thread. The last thing she sent was that smug photo, champagne, city lights, new man in the corner. I typed slowly, no emojis, no punctuation games, just 7 words. I left you a parting gift. Then I hit send and closed the laptop. She called 3 times before I'd even had my first coffee, straight to voicemail each time. I let the silence speak for me. By the 4th attempt, she switched to texts. The tone had shifted. Gone was the smug Miami yacht goddess from the night before. Now it was pure panic, jagged typos, frantic pacing between sentences, like I could feel her breath catching between each line. What the hell did you do? Why is my account frozen? They said there's a hold? I took a sip of coffee and watched the steam curl up from the mug. Calm, steady. She was discovering the part she never thought to plan for, the consequences. What she didn't realize was that her bold little transfer had triggered an automatic fraud alert inside our LLC's internal banking system. That wasn't just a joint savings account. It was a company account tied to corporate protections. The moment she pulled the full balance without dual approval, it flagged as a breach of operating agreement. My lawyer got the ping within 10 minutes. I'd set it up that way on purpose. Paranoia disguised as diligence. Then came the best part. Somewhere in her beachside delusion, she decided it'd be clever to link her new boy toy to her digital wallet. Maybe to show him off or to let him help manage things. Whatever the reason, that dumb move tethered his name to the transaction. So, when the fraud report hit the system, his accounts were automatically flagged too. Temporary hold, pending review. He got caught in the blast without ever stepping near the fuse. I filed the official fraud notice myself, logged into the account from my offline laptop, generated the transaction trail, attached the terms from the LLC operating agreement, highlighted the line she never read, unauthorized withdrawal of shared funds shall trigger internal review and immediate account suspension pending partner investigation. She signed that agreement 7 months ago. brushed it off between bites of overpriced sushi. Now it was the rope around her wrist. I scrolled through her texts. The desperation was seeping in now. This has to be illegal. You can't do this. Call me, please. I need to talk to you, like adults. That last one made me laugh. The woman who hijacked our money in the middle of the night while clinking glasses with her rebound was now invoking adult conversations. I didn't feel angry, just aware. This was a person I once trusted with everything. My plans, my name, my time. I'd kissed her in hospital rooms and danced with her in parking lots after long days. I'd believed we were building something real. And still, I never handed her the keys without a backup plan. Love makes you generous. It shouldn't make you blind. She thought she had it all figured out, thought I was slow, passive, a man who wouldn't see the train until it hit him. What she forgot is that I never yell when I'm cornered, I calculate. The last time she tried to play the victim in a financial argument, she cried about me not trusting her, said I was making her feel like a criminal just for wanting independence. I didn't argue, I didn't push back, I just got smarter. Now she was staring at a locked account. And her new man. According to the report, his cards had been declined twice in a row at a waterfront restaurant just after 11 a.m. I pictured the confusion on his face, the irritation, the eventual realization that the golden goose he thought he'd scooped up was bleeding liability. I didn't need revenge, I just wanted her to feel reality settle in. The law was already moving. My attorney had filed a motion to freeze disbursements pending breach of fiduciary review. Her attempt to wipe out the account wasn't just petty, it was prosecutable. She'd triggered a corporate audit. Every email, every transfer, every expense now under a microscope. She wanted a clean break. She got an investigation instead. I leaned back in my chair and opened a blank document, titled it Incident Log, typed the date, 9:04 a.m. Entry 1. Subject contacted multiple times post-transaction, confirmed panic, no remorse evident. Claims confusion. I saved it to the same encrypted drive and closed the lid. The phone buzzed again. This time, no caps, just 3 words. What happens now? I smiled, finished my coffee, and finally replied. That depends on how honest you are, starting now. She didn't storm back in. She stalled, sat in her car outside for 30 minutes, engine idling like she couldn't decide whether to cry or scream. I watched from upstairs, lights off. Just the glow of the hallway cam reflecting on the glass. When she finally walked to the door, she knocked, soft. Not like someone coming home, like someone visiting a grave. I let her in. She looked hollow, hair tied up, hoodie instead of heels. "Why didn't you tell me about the clause?" she asked. "I did," I said, voice even. "I told you to read what you sign." "You set me up." "Number?" "I gave you full access. You just didn't ask where the edges were." Her mouth opened, then shut again. No room to argue, just reality closing in. "You planned this," she whispered. "No," I said. "You did. I just built what you never thought I'd need." She sat on the edge of the couch like a guest waiting for bad news. I didn't sit. I just watched her realize how deep the water was. The lawyers came in fast, hers, mine, a third one she hired when the first 2 couldn't untangle the mess she made. She tried to bluff at first, said she'd fight it all the way, that the prenup wouldn't hold, that she'd sue me for emotional distress. But bluffs only work when you're not bleeding from every direction. By week 2, her tone changed. Her legal team started asking about settlement possibilities. Translation, she realized she wasn't going to win. The LLC held, the prenup held. The fraud flag from the financial entity wasn't just a scare tactic, it was evidence. And the best part? She signed every document that made it possible. She tried to claim coercion. My lawyer laughed in the deposition. There were video recordings of her signing, smiling, saying, "Sure, whatever," as I explained what each clause meant. Clear, documented consent. She wasn't tricked. She was careless. In the end, she walked with nothing. Actually, less than nothing? Debt. Credit shredded. Legal fees stacking up like a losing hand at a casino table. The yacht dream evaporated. Her younger man disappeared into the fog the second he realized she couldn't even pay for brunch without a declined card. I heard he blocked her. Cut ties before his own accounts took more heat. Smart move. The house went up for sale. I didn't want it anymore. Too many memories soaked into the drywall, some good, most poisoned. She begged me not to list it, said she'd rather we keep it neutral territory. I told her that ship had already sunk. I sold the place to a quiet couple with 2 kids and a Labrador. Got out clean. The money I recovered. Not much left after the freeze, the audit, the legal cleanup, but enough. I moved it into a silent trust. No name on the door, no digital footprint linking it back to me. It's protected now. Untouchable. Then I moved, no warning, just packed the essentials and left the state. No final texts, no goodbyes, a clean reset. It wasn't anger that drove me. I wasn't looking for revenge by the end. That phase passed somewhere between her Instagram posts and the court filings. What I felt was something colder, sharper, clarity. This wasn't just betrayal, it was exposure of her, of me, of what I let slide for too long in the name of love or comfort or just not wanting to rock the boat. I saw every moment differently now. The eye rolls when I asked about her day. The locked phone she kept face down during dinner. The fake laughs, the fake apologies, the little delays when it came time to merge accounts, sign forms, make commitments that mattered. She wasn't just leaving, she'd been gone. The body stayed behind, but the loyalty had moved on a long time ago. And I let it. That was the part I had to own. I thought loyalty meant staying, even when it got weird, even when it got quiet. I thought patience would fix what felt off, that if I just worked harder, stayed kind, gave her space, it would loop back to us being strong again. But loyalty without boundaries isn't noble. It's self-destruction. I remember sitting in my new apartment, a full state away, watching the sun cut through the window blinds, thinking how strange it felt to not be worried about someone else's chaos. No text to explain, no fires to put out, no performance to applaud just to keep the peace. It was quiet, and I liked it. The version of me that let her take the lead for years. He's gone, replaced by someone sharper, someone who pays attention, someone who builds traps in the floorboards in case the next person walks in, smiling, with a matchbook behind their back. I'm not bitter. That'd be giving her too much credit. I'm clean. I'm focused. I'm done mistaking drama for passion, apology for change, or attention for respect. And next time, if there is one, I won't hand over trust just because someone says the right words in the right tone. She taught me that, and it was a hell of a lesson. The cafe was quiet, just the way I like it now. Soft jazz drifting through the speakers, fresh coffee in hand, a view of the street where no one knows my name. I sat by the window, laptop open, not doing much of anything, scrolling, reading, letting the quiet settle in like it belonged to me. A woman walked in, maybe early 30s, holding a Togo cup and a small leather journal. She paused at my table, gesturing toward the empty seat across from me. "Is this taken?" I looked up, gave her a polite nod. "Nope, all yours." She smiled, the kind that doesn't ask for anything in return. No flirt, no angle, just human. She sat down, opened her journal, and started writing. Pen on paper, no laptop, no screens. I respected that. I didn't say much, still not used to the idea of letting someone in, even casually. I wasn't closed off, just different. Clean slate didn't mean open door. My phone buzzed. I flipped it over slowly, saw the alert, and smiled to myself. Transfer complete. The last of it had gone through. The LLC was officially dissolved, the money now spread across a series of offshore accounts I'd set up with surgical precision. No ties to my name, no digital breadcrumbs, just quiet, steady insulation. Not wealth for show, but security that couldn't be touched. It wasn't about hiding it, it was about protecting peace. I sipped my coffee, watching the world outside move at its usual pace. People with their deadlines and distractions, trying to outrun something or chase something else. I'd done both. For too long. Now? I was just sitting still, and that was enough. The woman across from me didn't speak, didn't need to. Her presence wasn't invasive, just quiet company in a world full of noise. She wrote something, then smiled faintly to herself, like it meant something only she would understand. I respected that too. For a moment, I thought about the version of me from a year ago. The guy who would have tried to fill the silence, who would have bent over backwards to prove he was trustworthy, stable, good. The guy who thought love meant giving access to everything, bank accounts, passwords, patience, time. That guy didn't know that access is a privilege, not a promise. That trust should be earned, not assumed. And that sometimes love is just someone rehearsing their exit with a smile. The version of me sitting here now, he knows better. He doesn't need to prove anything to anyone. He keeps the good stuff locked down, not out of fear, but because he finally understands value of money, of time, of peace. Another buzz from my phone, confirmation from the final trustee. Everything's sealed. No more loopholes, no more vulnerability. I leaned back in my chair and glanced at the journal writer across from me. She caught my eye and smiled again. Soft, curious, but not prying. "You look like someone who just solved a very complicated problem," she said. I let the corner of my mouth lift. "Something like that." "Well, congrats, I guess," she said, and went back to her writing. I didn't say anything. I didn't need to. I closed the laptop gently, sat with the stillness, and thought to myself, next time someone tries to rob me blind, they'll find the vault already empty and the floor rigged.